What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Lost Ark video, guys, and today we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks. Now, there are a slew of videos out there that already cover quite a few, but I want to do is I want to jam pack them into one cohesive video that gives you guys the top tips that I've been working on to showcase to you guys, and some things you may or may not know, and that will give you quality of life and help you along the way in your journey in Arkesia getting these Lost Arks. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about, guys, and this is going to be all based on level 50, alright? I mean, some of this you could apply throughout your adventures, even from level 1 all the way to 50, but a lot of these will be based on level 50. So let's talk about the first tip. Now, when you first start off the game, guys, you're going to have the prologue, which will give you a pet eventually. Now, pets do a lot of things, and I want to talk about what pets are capable of and why they're so useful. So first thing I want to mention is if you don't have this little here, this crystalline aura, you're not going to get a lot of the effects that the pets offer. The pets will still pick up items on your behalf, which is a basic thing that they do, but there's a lot more with it. So I'm going to talk about what they do if you do have the crystalline aura. Now, crystalline aura essentially is the subscription offer that is part of Lost Ark. You don't have to get it. It is completely free to play, but it does give you a lot of benefits if you do possess it. And one of those benefits, guys, are going to be what your pet can do for you outside of town during your whole adventure. Now, instead of having to teleport back and forth, and of course teleporting does cost, with the crystalline aura does not, the pet will give you the option to do additional things. For example, the pet can do a lot of these things right here, which is something that will be completely locked for you unless you have the crystalline aura active. So the first thing it's going to offer you is the pet inventory. Now, the pet inventory, guys, is the inventory that a lot of you might not know this. When you run out of space here, your pet actually unlocks additional inventory for you here, and it will hold on to your items until you clear out this inventory. But the key thing to remember is you actually have to go to your pet inventory and move all the items over. All right, keep that in mind. Now, these two are going to be unlocked until you get yourself a legendary or higher pet. Most pets are going to either be blue, which will give you a little bit less inventory space, and the purple ones, which gives you obviously the four columns here, the 4 rows, and then additional columns going forward. So the higher the tier of pet, the more inventory it holds. All right, another thing the pet can also do for you is it can actually host your remote storage anywhere in the world. So you can actually get a hold of your personal storage as well as your roster storage as you travel and you do things. Again, rather than having to go all the way to town, it makes inventory and storage space a lot easier to access. So keep that in mind, guys. A lot of great benefits. Another big one for me personally is the marketplace. Now, as I'm adventuring, I'm doing a lot of the completionist stuff personally, and you might not be a completionist, but as you get drops, you may want to know on the fly, so you don't forget to put stuff on the auction house. So there are a lot of things that you'll get along the way, such as adventure tome stuff. You'll get trader stuff. You'll get supplies. You'll get engravings, and a great way to get a hold of a great way to make gold is putting it onto your pet through the market and then selling it through the marketplace from your pet. So that is a huge feature, guys, and one of the key features you're going to be using in T3 and onwards, especially when gold becomes a major factor in the game. All right, so another 2 really cool ones is the remote mail, of course. If you are doing rifts, for example, which is the chaos gates, and someone just bid a crazy amount and you're in need of gold, remote mail is a great way to access your mail anywhere in the world rather than going back to town and talking to a mail keeper. And then the other 2 big items for me personally, other 3 items I should say, are going to be the remote repair. If again, something that I always personally forget to do is go to a repair person, so having access to this is key for me, especially in dungeons. If you're learning to do a brand new raid, like for example Argos, and you're going to be wiping a lot, having a repair on hand is absolutely going to be key in dungeons, especially even again if you're just traveling all over the world and using it. It does give you a lot of benefits there for that. And as well as if you're going to be doing trade skills and gathering, remote repair for your trade skills will be available through your pet. And lastly, the faceting. So refaceting is a big one here, because if you're looking to actually get yourself gems and then you're going to upgrade your gems to different ones rather than going to a gem maker, you can do it through your pet. And these are all cool features that your pet offers through the crystalline aura. Now, one thing a lot of people don't know about, and it's surprising, is the fact that your pet comes with additional buffs, right? So if I go back to my pet area, the pet effects are right here. Mine, for example, are set to max HP and crit. That is perfect for the class that I play, which is a berserker. But if you want to change that up, guys, you simply have to go find yourself a pet icon right on the map. They're found in every major city and they're called pet management. If you click on there and you actually wrangle your pet and you retrain them, you can retrain their actual skills here to whatever you want them to be. You have physical defense, magic defense, physical damage reduction, magic damage reduction, and then the crit one can become specialization, domination, swiftness, endurance, and expertise. Again, a lot of people don't know that. If you have a legendary pet, you can actually get yourself a third icon right here. So legendary pets do play a big factor in buffing, and I mean, that's nothing to scoff at. 5% and 10% are pretty big percentages, guys, and those buffs are always on you permanently, as you can see them right over there. So pets, guys, one of my major things is if you don't have crystalline aura, you're missing out a lot. It doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. You can still do really well without a pet with a crystalline aura, but there's a lot of benefits that come with it. And all I'm saying is make sure you manage your pet properly and make sure you go to pet management, and based on the class that you play, you do figure out what buffs work best for you. All right, guys, that takes care of pets. Let's talk about something else. Alright, boys and girls, welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the auction house. Now this is a big one. A lot of people don't understand how the market works, and they don't know how to use it to their benefit and how to search for things and how to sell things. So what I want to do is I want to briefly cover the major key aspects of the market and what you should be looking out for as a brand new player or an existing player who just hasn't explored the market enough. The first thing I want to talk about, I'm going to go to my pet real quick, and if you haven't seen the pet video, it's part of this tips and tricks. You can go back and check it out and go to the marketplace on my pet. Now you can do this in town through an auction broker, obviously, but I'm going to do it through my pet because I have the function. Here is what you're going to see. There are two different places. One is the market and one is the auction house. Do not mistake the two. A lot of people don't understand that you can't sell gear in the market, but you can sell gear through the auction house. If I go register, guys, and I go to my inventory, as you can see here, they highlight my actual items. If I go to my market and I go add item, you don't get to see your equipment highlighted. Okay, so keep that in mind. The market is strictly for items. The auction house is strictly for gear. Okay, so I want to talk about a few things, guys. All right, as you adventure through the game, you're going to get a lot of drops. As these drops happen, you're going to want to sell these drops if you don't need them, or if you've completed the items and they're just kicking around in your inventory. Do not discard and sell to vendors. You want to use the market. So for example, Amalone's journal here is a adventure tome item, right? Now those are really popular because some people like myself want to be completionists and we don't want to go hunting for these, but as you go through your adventures, you may get these drops. I want to talk about a few things. Number one, if you click this in here, it'll actually tell you the average day price and the most recent and lowest prices these have sold. I am going to say this right now. Do not drive the market down to make a quick sale. Make a sale based on the average day price because people will buy these. So for example, I have two of these that I'm going to sell. I'm going to go ahead and sell them for 5.5. I'm going to, or sorry, not 5.5, 5.2. Actually, you know what? Let's go 6. I'm going to go 6. All right, I'm going to sell two of these. I'm going to try to drive the price up. And the reason why that's important, guys, is it is beneficial to sell for higher because people buy these in bulk, right? So adventure tome items, they get bought in bulk, and you will make a lot more money by just being patient. So patience is key with the market. So as you can see here, this is valuable information for you to know. Now, you have the option here of listing for more than 1 day. You can go to 3 day, you can go even further, I believe, on some items, but this is only 3 days. So I'm going to go 3 days here, guys. And as you can see here, the deposit per item is 4 gold. So I spend 4 gold to make 6. I'll make some of that gold back, guys. So they only take 2 once it's done, and I'll end up making 6 times 2. I'll make 12 if these sell, right? So it's key to remember patience is absolutely one of the most crucial and important things with the market house. Don't try to make a quick buck all the time. Sometimes you will, but patience is going to be a big factor to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sell that. Now the market area is very simple. Everything already shows you what these items are worth. The auction house, on the other hand, is a lot more difficult, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. When you sell an item, for example, I'm going to register this item. Sometimes these items won't have actually they never have the average price. You have to understand what you're selling and what they're going to be, what they're worth to other players. So a couple things I want to talk about with items. Quality does matter. The quality, it gives you the bonus effect increase, right? So the higher the quality, as you can see, mine's 95, my crit is 157, this is 47, the domination is 123. So based on your quality, the higher the bonus effect will be. So people do definitely look for that. So keep that in mind when you're selling items. And then the other thing to keep in mind is what are the most popular classes and what are the most popular stats. So expertise, domination, those aren't big ones for my class. For example, my class buys specialization, crit, and swiftness. Those are the 3 big elements to how a berserker plays. So for me personally, I'm going to be looking for those stats, and those stats usually sell for more. Okay, and then lastly, the random engraving effect. Those are absolutely the #1 thing people look at. Crit and all that stuff is great, but when it comes down to engravings in tier 3, those are key to end game content. So understanding what random effect is worth is extremely important. Now, if you're brand new to this, I'm going to show you guys a little trick. A lot of people don't know about this, but there is an actual section here that is advanced search. All right, if you don't know what your item is worth, you can actually go ahead under the advanced options and put in things like crit, right, for the combat stat, and you can put in engraving effect. So for example, if I don't know what, let's just say what drops of ether is worth, right? I want to have a crit one with drops of ether. Just find that, put that in there, and do a search. Oh, actually, wait a second. You got to put some sort of quality here. So let's say overall rank. We'll leave that same. Quality, it's fine. Actually, what did it say here? Please enter a search word. Oh, okay. You need to say what kind of item you're looking for. So let's say tier 3. Let's say category we want accessories. There. Now search it. All right. So there you go. So what that's going to do now, it's going to pop up crit, and it's going to pop up what you're looking for in terms of your actual engravings. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now you can take a look here and see what things are selling for, right? 125, 50, 600. So based on what other people are selling for, you can base your sale on similar items like that. So again, going through tier 3, if I go combat skill crit and I go engraving effect, let's say grudge, right? Let's just say grudge because that's a popular one. And I do search. There you go. Now you're going to see anything that has crit and grudge on there. And this, for example, sells for 5,000, 5,000, 100, right? So see, this is going to matter, right? So you see the quality is a big factor. If you click on this, it's going to go to 100 quality. And you can see some of these will sell for a lot of gold. So keep that in mind, guys. When you're registering your own items, you want to compare and contrast what is going on the marketplace. And the best way to do it, I'm telling you now, is check out the bonus effect and check out the engraving that's available on the actual item. If it's not worth it, you can still try to sell it for 100 to 200 gold. Someone may snatch it up, but it's better than dismantling them and getting rid of them, right? So that's my recommendation. The same thing goes with stones, guys. Stones play a huge factor in this game. They're almost more important than accessories for engravings because they give you way more of the bonus. So stones are another big one you can look at, but the same concept applies. Use advanced search in the auction house, put in the engraving, put in the item, put in the stats, and see what you can get out of it. So that is extremely important to know, guys, and I hope that this helped you understand the marketplace and the auction house a little better. All right, jumping on to the next topic. All right, boys and girls, now we're going to be talking about roster level. Now this one is big to me because what roster level is, and a lot of people don't kind of underestimate its abilities and powers, is the extra stats you get all across your entire roster. Right now, if you plan to play alts, roster level is going to be big for you. Even if you don't, roster level is big for you because it opens up so many more stats and additional stats you can add to your main character, plus any alts you create in the future. And roster level also gives you additional items such as wallpapers, extra energy in your stronghold, etc. Right now, roster level is the purple item right over here. As you can see, I'm level 85, and I've been doing a lot of work in this character. Now I've got 3 alts. The other 2 alts are, sorry, my first 2 alts are 460. The other one is 302, and my third alt is only level 10, I think, or something, because I'm going to start from scratch. But they're benefiting so much from roster level. Let me explain to you what roster level does. Okay, so I'm going to go to roster information here, and as you can see here, every single thing I've claimed so far has given me vitality, has given me strength, dexterity, intelligence, and also has given me additional items such as crystals. You can get yourself wallpapers. You get yourself a Bifrost key at level 60, which gives you another Bifrost section right here where you can travel to. So it's an absolute gem of an item in the game. Like, you have to put focus on your roster level. Now I want to talk about how to get roster level up as quick as you possibly can. Okay, so the first thing is going to be tower. I'm going to go ahead and walk to the tower here real quick on my mount, guys, or actually I'll mount to it, I should say, and we're going to talk about why the tower is a huge increase to roster level. Now every time you complete a section of the tower, it gives you experience points, but it also gives you roster experience plus additional items. So the way tower works is it's 50 floors and there's 2 sections to the tower. There's a T1 section, which is called Shadespire, and then there's the T2 section, which is called Faithspire. T3 doesn't exist yet. Now my recommendation for you guys on your first run is do it with an alt. The reason why is you can go back and do the tower a second time and get a whole slew of different items. Okay, so definitely do it on your alt first. get all the first set of items through your alt, and then jump on your main and do this tower the second time. I did it the other way around, and it was a lot harder. So my recommendation, guys, is build an alt first to 50, get your tier 1, work on the tier 1 tower, and the roster level applies again across the entire board of all characters that you have. So this is a fantastic way to get yourself roster level, and don't forget the fact that these items that they drop as well are actually really good. So along the way, you're going to get yourself rapport items, you're going to get yourself giant heart, which you can trade to the vendor for additional items. You can get yourself legendary to common cards, stat increase potions. You can get yourself engraving recipe selections, including the battle engraving ones, as well as your class engraving ones, skill points, etc. So tower is a key part to this game, guys, and to me personally, it's probably my favorite piece of content in the game, because it's a lot of different things such as survivals, killing bosses, fighting a lot of bad guys on the screen, etc, 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 right? So this is one of the best ways to get roster level. If you have not been focusing on tower, I really suggest that you do so. Another good way to get yourself roster level is doing rapport with other NPCs. Now, getting rapport up gives you items. It helps you complete the adventure tome, which is probably the best source of roster level experience points, and we'll talk about that shortly. But getting your rapport up with characters is massive, so please, guys, focus on that. Go to the most basic towns like Pride Home, etc. Get the rep up max with those characters, because they're the easiest. And plus, as you get further with your rep with other characters that are a lot further in the game, you require things like wisdom and all this other stuff to be leveled up, and the only way to do that is to complete a lot of those quests and rapports with other characters. So that's a great way to do it. Rapport is huge with characters, so make sure you are focusing on your rapport up on the with the NPCs out there. So I can show you guys real quick mine. If I go to adventure and rapport, so just real quick so you guys can see, like, I've got trusted, so max this one out. I've maxed out everybody here. Like, it is a huge this is the reason why I'm almost 86 already, is because I've done a lot of the maxing out on some characters, right? So and the cool thing is, once you max these characters out, they can actually sit in your stronghold, which is something else we'll talk about in another video. But roster level, guys, is extremely important. So outside of rapport, the other big one is, of course, doing your quests, the purple quests, and just regular storyline and side quests. And then lastly, it's going to be the adventure tome. Now, this tome here is going to be a big part of the game for you once you're done and you have nothing else to do and you just want to be a completionist like myself. Getting 100%, guys, gives you really cool items. Gives you items for your stronghold, gives you items for rapport, gives you emotes that you need to do to progress in some storylines, gives you stat increase potions, gives you cards, presents, you can get mounts, etc, right? So getting 100% on some of these nets you almost 1 to 2 levels of roster. It is hands down the best way to get roster level, but it also does require the most amount of work. So based on what you want to do, keep in mind this will be the fastest way to get the roster level. But if you don't like being a completionist, you may not need to do this. You don't have to get 100% to take advantage of it, but obviously it gives you the most amount when you get 100%. I will say this, with the adventure tome specifically, once you do hit a roadblock, will be with rapport. So rapport does like fit into the 100%, so if you can't get 100% rapport, move on, guys, and do something else, and just keep completing as much as you possibly can. As you can see here, I'm already halfway done, a little more than halfway, and I've got a couple towns left. But guys, do not neglect roster level. It is a major part of the game and a great source for you to be getting yourself stat ups and make your character stronger across all alts, including your main. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, let's move on to something else. Alright, guys, the last thing I want to talk about here is silver. Now, this is going to be a weird one for a lot of people who level 50, because you're like, silver, that's not a problem right now. But I promise you, the moment you hit level 50 and tier 3 and you start actually honing and you're failing a ton like we all are, it becomes it's probably the most difficult resource to keep up with, because a lot of people don't understand how to get it. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys the best ways to get silver and what you definitely do not want to do. All right, so the first thing you don't want to do, guys, is there's going to be a gold shop up here that you can get gold from completing Una's tasks. So we're going to talk about that in this section, but I want to go to it real quick to explain to you guys what I'm talking about. So we're going to go ahead and teleport here, and the gold shop essentially is a method for you to sell your gold sell 1,000 gold for 100k silver. So 100,000 silver. Okay, a lot of people are doing this because they think it's an efficient and quick way to make your silver back, but I'm here to tell you guys that is a horrible method to do, because gold becomes a way more first off, it's way more difficult to acquire, number one, and number two, it is also a premium currency. Silver will be a dime a dozen. So this is what I was talking about. As you can see here, you can go to the exchange section, and here you can get a hidden vault for 1,000 gold. Now, someone like me who knows how to work the marketplace, you guys might be like, well, isn't it easier for you just to do that? Well, no, and let me explain to you why. So let me actually exchange this real quick before we move on and get that gold out of the way. The reason why you don't want to do that, guys, is because there's a simple way to get yourself silver in this game. If you have alt, it's even better. Okay, so the way I'm going to show you is silver does drop in a couple places. So first off, chaos dungeons do them, and you'll get yourself 22 to 30k silver per day on your tier 3 section. Tier 2 and tier 1 you get a little less because you need less, but as you get to tier 3, chaos dungeons are massive. Abyssal dungeons give you gold, so that's another great way, but they also do drop some silver as well too. But the main thing, guys, for silver, honestly, is going to be to a place called what they call Amazon Warehouse Island. It's actually called Lopang. So if you haven't been there, take a trip there, complete the quest, and you're going to unlock yourself Una's weeklies for them. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. So here's Una's tasks. Okay, when you have the ability to do Una's tasks, a lot of people are going to go for honing equipment and stuff. That I suggest you don't do that. What I suggest you do instead, guys, is you go and find yourself the Lopang quests, which are right here. They're called the special delivery quests. So they're very simple. They take like literally 3 to 4 minutes to do, and they unlock ways to get silver. Find the ones that have the most amount of silver and unlock those ones. So I do Shoeshire, I did Vern, I did Arthine, and I did Annika. So for example, if I accept this, right, I use I personally buy the Una task completions because I don't have time to do them. Once you do them the first time and you possess those, it makes it a lot easier. You can go finish now, and you get yourself right here. Let's just finish it real quick. You get yourself reputation, and you get yourself the silver. Okay, so that is huge right there. That's 28k silver. Now go back. You have to do this 3 times, right? So go back and you find it again, and you do the other ones real quick. And at the same time, I'm going to show you something else that a lot of people forget about. So let's just do these 3 times here. We'll finish this one as well. Complete. So this is almost 100k worth of silver, guys, just simply by doing this. It's so easy. Just do it every day, and silver will not be a problem. Now keep in mind, these daily tasks can be done on all of your alts. Okay, a lot of people don't know that aspect, is that you can actually go on your alts and do these dailies from as many alts as you have. Now they do scale with your eye level, so you won't be getting the same amount as you would on your tier 3 character, but it's still worth doing it, because even if it's 4k to 5k silver, it's still something. You share silver across the board, right, across all your alts. So it's very important, guys, that you do this on a weekly basis. Now, on a daily basis. Now the other thing I want to talk about real quick is this reputation status. People don't know about this, but they see the screen and they stop. Keep going, guys. Based on how much you've done with other people like Lopang, for example, other reputation vendors, you get yourself additional items. Like for example, I got the Melody of the Sea right here. This is how you get the ship. I'm about to get 27k, a stats potion or a vitality potion, and a way to make a messenger's pigeon post. So I'm gonna go and claim that, and I finalize that. So it is great to get silver, but don't forget this does exist. So after a while, when silver doesn't become a problem, guys, make sure you do focus on getting some of these complete, because you can see here a lot of silver is provided from just completing the reputation status. So that is key, guys. Do not forget this aspect of the game. It's something that a lot of people neglect. I'm gonna go ahead and accept this real quick here. Accept, and don't forget this. So when you have a guild, and this is another great way to make some money as well too, because you can trade it in for the guild vendors. Go to your guild requests under the same Una task tab and accept these. If you don't, you actually can't do them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick, guys. There we go, accepted both. But that's it, guys. I want to just talk about those 4 things that a lot of people don't know about. There will be more coming for Lost Ark. I'll be giving you guys a lot more tips and tricks. We'll be doing videos on bosses. I'll do videos on characters, on classes, and which ones I like the most, and I'll talk a lot about them, how to play them the best possible way. But I hope this video helped you out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section, obviously. If you like this video, hit up a subscribe, shoot me a like, and guys, more Lost Ark coming your way, as well as other games very soon. Alright guys, this is Payne. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk soon.